ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your donkeys. It's season 3 of the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw. With your hosts Sizzle and Spedsy, plus Quick Nick, our esteemed regulars, and Australia's best-looking creators. Many of whom have books for sale at comx.shop. Now, let's get stanky.
Woo! Welcome. Oh, nice. Welcome to Drink and Draw, episode 95. Tonight's theme is Vikings. And Spedsy's doing, and Alex is doing a cool little shot of Stellalands there. Thank you very much, guys.
Whoa.
No.
I'll talk about that a bit more later on.
You're as cold as ice. Of course, I'm talking about my nipples. It's Melbourne weather, winter. I'm a sensitive guy. You know that. Nowhere am I more sensitive than on the tippy tops of my nipply nips. They feel like they're going to explode. So I'm wearing a jacket over a shirt, over a T-shirt. So hopefully by the end of the show, I will have this nipple situation under control. But until then, a man whose nipples are well looked after, nuzzled, warm, moist even. Hey, it's Nick Quick-Cleary. Hello, sir.
Hey, it's me. You're right. They are warm nipples tonight. Thank you. Thanks for checking in, Rob. Appreciate it.
Now, of course, when we're talking nipples, who's the first person that comes to mind? It is, of course, Alex Major. Hello.
Yeah. What can you show us your nipples? Is that what's happening?
That'll make them
because
colder.
man nipples are okay. It's the lady nipples where they're no. But the man nipples are like.
Well, they are drilling their way through my many layers, so they'll be here soon enough.
So is there going to be like a nipple explosion in the middle of the show? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, could be. So strap in. Both the viewer and my nipples. Strap in, because it's a long show. All right. Speaking of things that are long and long nipples, it's Long Nipples McGee, aka Nick May.
I guess I'm here. G'day.
Yeah. And out there in the ether, disembodied voice, Kelsey, are you with us?
I am with us. Me, yes.
Excellent to have you. And of course, the man whose best friend has 6 nipples. Of course, that would be Dinky. Dinky has 6 nipples. Is Dinky a lady?
He's a gelding.
Is that
Gelding, mate?
Is that a boy?
Well, used to be a boy. He's half boy. Yeah, I guess he's still a boy.
Did you chop his doodle off?
He's still got his doodle, but he lost his crown jewels, mate.
Oh, right.
You mean the sack of balls? They're gone?
He's been knackered. De-knackered.
Yeah, Dinky, I feel you, mate. Been there.
He's a gelding.
Do horses have nipples, Dave? Male horses?
Well, no, not male. I don't know. Female horses definitely do.
Or do they have teeth?
Man.
Educational.
Yeah, well, so we did actually. Firstly, of course, everybody, please welcome Brad Daniels to the show.
G'day.
Hello.
Is he a human nipple? Is he a human teat?
I just Googled, do male horses have nipples? And they do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's also, I think
they are quite rudimentary and difficult to see.
Oh, okay.
Right. Thanks for the info, Brad.
That's why Dave hasn't noticed.
Yes.
You'll have to explain that to the FBI, why that's in your search history. But
ASIO, mate. ASIO. That's Australian. We're in Australia, mate.
Yeah.
Am I? How do you know? I could
that's
be
how
last
ASIO recruited me.
I mean, the correct answer was I stated at the start of the show that I was in Melbourne with really cold nipples. So I am in Australia.
Yeah. There you go.
Now, Sis, we are here to talk and draw Vikings. Now, Sis, I don't know if you know, but the term Vikings is a somewhat modern name given to seafaring people originally from Scandinavia, which is the present-day Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. In the late 8th to 11th century, they raided, pirated, traded, and settled throughout parts of Europe. Now, as a descendant of the Norse men yourself, tell us a little bit about your history and which Norse god you most identify with.
I'm descended from Norse gods. Okay. Well, I don't know too much about them. When I was younger, I will admit, I was really into Norse gods, really into Greek gods, really into Roman gods. But in my 20s, I drank massive amounts of alcohol, and all those memories were killed. So I know they exist, and that's about it. And of course, I know the comic ones: your Odin, your Thor, your Loki. I remember them because I was still reading comics during the drinking period. But everything before that was lost.
Well, which is kind of Viking-ish to drink away your whatnot. I did have a god picked out for you, and I can't find. Oh yeah, so your Norse god name, Sis, who I think you're the direct descendant of the god. I want to say Vioa, which is the god of the forest. So that's your beard.
Oh yeah, the forest. Yep.
The god of revenge. So we'll have to work out how that ties in, because the god of the forest, revenge, and silence. Which, as the show gets on, I get a bit mouthy, and you're the silent Bob to my J. So I think if we can work out where the revenge comes in, I think you are Vioa.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to say it, but I like it.
Yeah. Do you enjoy Vikings in pop culture? Is there like Asterix?
They're not Vikings, are they? They're Viking enemies.
They're Gauls.
They're Gauls.
They're Gauls and Romans.
Please tell me what that means. All I know was Asterix and the Vikings. There was a comic.
Yeah, they beat up the Vikings. The Vikings are the bad guys.
The Gauls are French, mate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Tell me more. I know nothing about what you're talking about.
Well, the French were fighting the Roman Empire. They fight Caesar in it. So it's like a bunch of French warrior type guys, villagers, and they fight the Romans. So there's no Vikings. Potion. Yeah. Well, that's the fact part. That's the
The magic potion.
Dave, I think Dave might know more about Asterix, and he knows more about that kind of history than I do. I just remember reading a couple of comics, and I thought they were cool, and played the video games. Dave, carry on. I'm talking too much.
Caesar conquered the Gauls, I think. So there you go. Back in those days, mate.
Yeah, but like, what was the cup? Yeah, but so what happened to the Gauls? Did they fight back eventually? Are they still around?
Gallic, yeah. Gauls are like a region of France or up near Belgium, around that area, I think.
I believe if they were French, they probably surrendered. Alex, you can't say that.
What? Is that what I'm not allowed to say?
Now, we've established on this show that I'm somewhat of an idiot. So I want to know. Now, this is a bit of a tangent, but can you guys give me, because we've got a few teachers here and history buffs and people who damn near lived in the region. What happened to the Roman Empire? Can you give me like how did they fall? I want to look that up. Can you give me like the
Vandals?
Yeah, go Dave. Sorry, I was talking over you.
Visigoths and the Vandals and the who else came down from Europe and cleaned them up? Probably Genghis Khan's mob came in and had a bit of a go as well. I don't know.
Mongols.
Mongols, did they get down there?
Don't know.
I think there's people from Ibiza.
Just a bunch of drunk Brits.
So I'm no clearer on the.
No,
The Visigoths. The Visigoths defeated them.
Visigoths. There you go.
Yeah.
The Goths.
It was
Visigoths.
A bunch of moody people wearing white makeup listening to sad music.
That's right. That'll kill anybody. They all
the official story is that the Vandals got them.
Oh,
They were graffitied out of existence.
Yeah, exactly right. Like lots of painting, like Romans suck and shit like that.
Like
wearing their hoodies,
and set their bins on fire and stuff like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Broke the aerials off their cars.
All that sort of thing, mate.
Yeah. Did you get your answer, Rob?
No.
But there was something. I remember there was like teaching something about like they tried to attack the Romans with elephants through the north, and then a bunch of elephants froze in the Alps.
Oh,
okay.
That was Hannibal.
That was Hannibal, yeah.
Yeah.
Just before he joined the A-team.
Hannibal was Macedonian, wasn't he?
I don't know. I just remember there was just like elephants freezing in the Alps, and I'm like, that's. I mean, that sounded like a stupid idea.
Got him over the Alps. That's what he. He's famous for anyway.
He's famous for other things as well.
Yeah, eating people, wasn't it?
The Gordian knot.
Oh, okay. What's that exactly, mate?
Anyway, back to Vikings.
Stay on target.
Quick. We're putting together a Viking village, and a certain amount of us have to be raiders and whatever. But there are other roles open in the village. What do you think? What role would you fill? You can be a raider, or
I would assume I would be the chef, the Viking chef. You know?
Okay.
I think that just means steaming a lot of fish. And clubbing meat, giving it an extra few hits.
Yeah, all right.
That's all I
So
got.
cook everyone a meal, go back to your quarters, club some meat, and then get up in the morning and make breakfast. Now, I feel like the meat would be pre-clubbed, but like I don't think we're bringing you. Like, say I'm one of the hunters. I'm just bringing you a sheep and just going, here you go. Have a club at it quick. Yeah. Oh, I like that you get your hands dirty. That's good.
Well, if you're a Viking, you need to get your satisfaction. And if I'm not a proper Viking out pillaging, I'll find it in the kitchen, mate.
Do you know of any Norse gods? One particular that you might identify with?
Nah, none that haven't been mentioned or been in Marvel films. So can't help you.
Well, how are you? Are you a morning man or a night man?
I've become a morning man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you might be Delling, god of the dawn.
I'll take it.
All right. Well,
What do I get? Do I get
something better?
Do I get a cool hat?
There's another one. You could be Boulder, which is god of beauty, innocence, peace, and rebirth.
Yep.
I mean, the beauty it speaks for itself. Innocence.
It's better than morning, right? Is that what the other option is?
Yeah, god of the morning.
Early sunlight.
But god of the dawn, so like a beautiful sunrise.
Yeah.
Cocks are crowing.
Yeah, I'll take the peace
and all night
over peace and beauty in the morning.
Okay.
Nice.
Alex Major.
Maybe.
Are you a Norseman at heart? Are you into the Viking culture? Have you read any Viking comics?
No, there used to be a cartoon I used to watch in Austria. I forgot what it was. I just remember there were just these Vikings, like a little girl Viking. I think she was leading the boats of a bunch of burly Vikings, and they were going like, oh. I forgot what that was. All I remember was that. I didn't watch it in English, so I don't know. They'd be like, oh, it's Es ist wunderbar, sehr gut, schnell, schnell. I don't know. Can't quote you the cartoon I was watching, but there were Vikings going on a boat and adventures and stuff.
Right.
But and then also like How to Train Your Dragon. It's got a bunch of Scottish Vikings in there. And yeah, so there's that. But I'm not like a big into Vikings. I'm more of Central European kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
how are you with like things like the ocean, catching fish? Do you like that sort of stuff?
I have a PADI license, so I can go diving up down to 40 meters. So I used to go diving up on the near the Barrier Reef in Cairns, Port Douglas area. And I've been diving there like half a dozen times. And I'll tell you what, not once have I seen a Viking there.
Okay.
I've seen turtles. I've seen little white-tipped sharks. I've seen little clownfish that every freaking instructor said, if you go downstairs, you can see some Nemos. Did you see some Nemos? And I'm like, they're clownfish. They're not Nemos. I was like,
I think we've got it sorted. What's your money situation? Are you you doing all right in the money department?
No, I got a mortgage and the freaking interest rates are pissing me off. I mean, what?
Because I was thinking you might be no juror. These are hard words, you guys.
Yeah.
No juror, the god of sea, wind, fish. So like wind, you've been known to fart. Fish, you can, Nemos.
Has Aiko been getting offline, just emailing you? I like to wake her up at 3 a.m. with a big fart.
So God of sea, wind, fish, and wealth. So if we can get your money situation under control.
Yeah, can you guys, anybody else wanting to help my money situation? I got some comics at the ComX store. They're called Teacher. Go on, buy them and buy other comics too. But buy the ones I'm involved with, so that way I can get some money. There's also Vermoose 3, Vermoose 4 coming out. So people wanting to help me out, make me rich. You
can't have Najuro not have wealth because he's the god of wealth, so it just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So, let's get on it, audience. Make me rich.
Nick May, the most famous Viking in pop culture. Is there one? Have you got one?
It's Eric the Red, famous for that movie, Eric the Red.
Is it called Eric the Red or Eric the Viking, 1989?
No, I don't know. I'm changing my mind. There was a movie, somebody can correct me, maybe Brad, maybe Dave. I think it was called The Long Ships. I think from maybe the late 60s, early 70s. It had Sidney Poitier in it. But it also, as the most famous Viking, it had Richard Widmark, I think, who was famous for playing like Jim Bowie or whatever in the Alamo. And for today, I thought, well, what am I going to draw? And I looked up a picture of The Long Ships because it was one of my favorite movies growing up. And he's this really scrawny, pretty old sort of a dude, losing his hair. And he was meant to be a Viking. And while it really impressed me when I was about 7 or 10 or something, as a 50-something-year-old, not quite as impressive a Viking.
I can hear a Viking in the background someplace.
Correct.
So Eric the Viking was a Monty Python joint, as they say. It was written and directed by Terry Jones, Tim Robbins to star, and John Cleese appears. But the reviews were mixed. The overall rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 47%.
That's high, right?
Roger Ebert calling it an utterly worthless exercise.
Oh.
So you got that going for it.
Sounds good.
I want to see it now.
What a misery guts.
Now, Nick May, of course, you are Manny, the god of moon, because of that wagon you're dragging, I think.
Makes sense.
yeah, I don't know if like for the people who have seen Nick May in real life, well, it's undeniable. You will soon see why he's the god of moon, the moon.
Oh yeah,
god of moon. So yeah,
Nick the
God of
Caboose
moon.
May is what they call me.
Kelsey, are you? I'm just going to go by your
Excuse
awesome
me.
drawing so far. There we go. That's a
Yeah, baby.
Russell.
Awesome, Nicholas.
Are you into Vikings, Kelsey?
I do like Vikings, yes.
Do you have a Norse god that you might identify with, or a goddess?
The closest is probably Hel, but that's because she's the Norse equivalent of Persephone, who's the goddess of spring. But Hel's the Norse goddess of death, but obviously Persephone is the queen of the underworld, so they kind of coincide in history and overlap.
Hell yeah!
Right.
Fancy having an answer for such a ridiculous question. And what are we drawing tonight?
Well, one of my favorite franchises is probably How to Train Your Dragon. It's probably one of the few perfect animated trilogies that exist. As we all know, most things take a dive when they hit their sequels. And yeah, I really liked. I thought it would be fun to go with that angle because it's just a fun series.
Did you like the TV show as well?
Well, I did. I like that they kept the franchise alive. Obviously, like the animation quality was a lot less, but they didn't have the same budget behind it. But they still were able to, fill in some like lore, which was kind of nice. It wasn't just completely garbage. But then they brought out another spin-off series, which is absolutely trash. No one watch it. It's basically just How to Train Your Dragon, the first movie, but a different character and like worse. So there's no point. So.
Yeah, right. Did
But
they
if the movie was perfect, then anything's going to be worse. Let's be honest. So we may as well watch it because it's probably really good.
Yeah, it's probably a solid 7 out of 10, which is a lot worse than perfect.
Yeah, well, the first movie's great, but they just basically recycled the whole premise of the first movie. Like, boy is nervous, finds dragon is OP. We're all friends, but then they put it into a slightly more modern setting and made everyone about 10,000 times more bland as characters.
You said modern setting. Was it like that Asterix movie where the guy grabbed the pigeon and was sending an SMS by just touching his belly?
It kind of is. It's they're still dragons, but they're ambiguous about if it's modern times or not. It's they're the descendants of the How to Train Your Dragon people, but it's garbage. So.
Oh no.
I know.
Sounds like Roger Ebert.
I assume the dragon ended up being by the end of it, it was a well-trained beast, right? They weren't still trying to train it by the third one, because at what point did it...
No comment.
Yeah.
There's more than one dragon.
I won't spoil. Yeah, I won't spoil it for you.
So
wait, are you implying, Rob, that you've never seen it? Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah, I have
realized something.
No. Weirdly, Pixar has scarred me. I don't like feeling
This is
emotion.
DreamWorks.
And no, I know, but it's
okay. So Pixar scarred you for other places. Got it.
Have just totally turned me off those animated films. I don't know why, but I can't watch animals and cute characters go through turmoil. I just can't.
You will cry, yeah. There's something very primitive about seeing a dragon love a young boy and then they go through hardship. You're like, this isn't fair.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Recommend though. Sizzle should have given it to you as homework before tonight, but
yeah, I think I saw Up and I was like, that's it. No more.
No, I respect that. Up ruined me. I couldn't even get past the intro. Yeah. And there was no dialogue either, and it still fucking destroyed me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't have those emotions on Up. I was like, no, it's good.
Oh,
I get it. It's a good build-up.
Oh, yeah, you're glad she died, Alex. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I didn't know, but it just explained an awful lot. That's why he's a grumpy man. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's true. But it's so sad. I don't know.
Well, see, Alex is a husk. There's nothing inside. It's a shell.
Oh, yeah. He just goes, oh, yeah, that's context for the character. Makes sense. Moving on. And we're just over here bawling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, next, we're going to speak to Loffen, the god of forbidden love. Now, Dave, that's you. You know why the love is forbidden, Dave?
No, tell me, mate.
Because you won't hug us.
Yeah.
We love you and we want to share that love with you, but it's forbidden.
I don't know if you got enough money, mate, to be able to afford the price.
I got $20.
Oh, okay. You'll get a
Let's
few
put it
then.
all together.
But Alex, yeah, Alex will hug you and it'll just be like a cold. It's like hugging a goat.
A goat.
Alex doesn't feel a goat. Dave, what are we putting together tonight? Looks like a.
Gonna try and do a battle scene here.
Oh wow!
So don't hold me up. There's a lot of work to do.
Keep going. Because one thing we last week we asked for people's thoughts and ways that we might improve the show, and one of the comments we got was doing more sort of educational sort of discussing the how-tos and whatnot.
Well, we did discuss. Sorry to interrupt you and tell me not to, but we did do educational stuff. We discussed the fall of the Roman Empire, I believe. So I think people have learned. And anyways, my apologies, Rob. I'm going to let you continue.
You're right. But I guess I was more talking educational in the world of comics. Not that we are experts by any stretch, but just our thoughts and feelings and on our how-dos. So, Dave, one thing I thought was tonight discussing how we come up with the pose or the finding the pose or choosing the pose of the piece that we're putting together. And so what was your thoughts, ideas, whatever, in piecing this together? Did you start with a thumbnail? Have you got like a few different versions in your head before you settled on this?
Well, initially I did this here.
Whoa!
Just a thumbnail.
Yeah,
oh my God.
a quick sketch.
Massive thumbnails.
Then I did this one here. So that's probably what I'm gonna.
You're working backwards.
Got them both.
Inks first, then penciling. So, Dave,
just throw them down. And
what did you learn, or like what were you trying to work out before ending on this?
Oh, sorry.
When I was doing this, I was trying to work out if I could do it in an hour.
Oh, right.
And I think I might if people don't disturb me too much.
Wink, wink.
Stop talking to Dave. He hates it.
So that's basically what it was, and just laying out the figures. Sort of, I thought I like the idea of having the ship over here on the left, to a ling of this one. I thought, an axe or two and a shield to fill this black this. There's a hole here where you notice. Well, I've got some people there in that one, but so I just dropped a shield in there just to fill that blank area. I had to put someone down here, so I've got a body sort of half crawling along here. I'll probably have someone over this side here coming in a bit just to fill that end in there. These are, because I'm going to do most of it in brush, in ink. I've only just done brief outlines of where I think they should be, and I'll just fill in a lot of this with black.
Yeah,
that'll
right.
just make it easy to get it done in an hour then.
Amazing. Wow, you did a massive one for Pirates 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Yeah, amazing. Now, Dave, I think that little, I think your god name might have changed. I think it's Leaf Malone, the god of Leave Me Alone. Bradley.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
It's going good, mate. Not too bad. We're at the 29-minute mark. We've made one one circle around the group. We'll see how we go. We might get another one in before the night's over.
Yep.
Brad, where would you best be positioned in a Viking village?
Well, I'm guessing I would like. That's an interesting question. Best positioned for what effect?
Well, where you?
So what do you want to get out of this? Is it the best position for me, which is obviously by the fire, just sitting down doing nothing? Is it the best position for the village, which is probably outside the wall, freezing to death?
Okay.
Is it the best position for I don't know, some raiding? Which case I would be lashed to the front of the longboat, yelling like, "We're coming! The Vikings are coming!"
Yeah. Why did they do that? All right. I'd say I'm do they call it the Carl, the head Carl or whatever, the guy, the leader? Let's just say I'm appointing myself the head of the village.
Yeah.
So I could appoint you a position, but you're there going, oh, come on. So there's what you're wishing for. I would like to know what position are you wishing for, but also I come to you and I'm like, Brad, like, I don't know you very well. You're new to the village. What do you think you're best suited for? And knowing that I'm a bit of a ruthless leader, if you're not pulling your weight, I've been known to cast people out into the wild. So, what's your fingers crossed gig and your? And so
I would go for tech support.
Okay. I don't understand.
Yeah, because I always need someone to do tech support. So the job, you got a secure job.
They notoriously bad reception out in some of those.
Oh man, they're like some of them haven't even heard of Wi-Fi.
Are you, Brad? I've got a question as an IT man. Are you a whiz at Linux as well? Are you gonna just set up like a Linux system for the village?
I'm not a wizard.
We drowned
an IT guy. Just gonna set up like a Linux for everybody, like a whatever. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not that IT guy. I'm just
okay. Well, look, I don't know.
Getting drunk on my roots and beers.
Rob, if we wanted to go for something a little bit more authentic, maybe I could be a strategist. I could plan things out. Like I don't know if that's a thing because like Vikings notoriously just ran out and did stuff according to legend. They weren't known as big thinkers. They would just go and raid and do other things, which I'm not going to talk about.
In that vein, Brad, lots of our we get our meat from hunting and whatever, but there's an apple orchard just downstream. We'll go down there once a month, fill up our boat, but another village has twice the size of ours opened up a bit further down the river.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got a perimeter of warriors now guarding the orchard, which is all the children in our village kind of half their sustenance is what we get from that orchard. As our head strategist, what's your thinking? How do we rectify this?
First thing I do is say, I will go parley with them, my liege.
Okay.
And then I'll say, can I join your tribe? Because you got all the
food. Right. So you're a dirty traitor, a turncoat.
I mean, other people are welcome to join me if they swear fealty to the other chieftain.
To the apple gods.
Yeah.
Well, that backfired on me. My lead strategy was to take all my followers to a neighboring camp.
Yeah.
That went well.
You have to admit, it's very efficient strategy.
Mr. Quick Nick.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit educational on that ass. Finding the right pose, the right.
I got one here, Brad. I think I nailed it actually.
Hardware.
Love it.
Quick, do you have any rules or theories that you abide when putting maybe not a quick, but maybe a panel in a comic book?
I mean, like, of course, but I don't know how to just talk about it. I don't know. Give me a scenario.
Well, what do you go for? Like you've got the scene is Budgie lands in an alleyway and discovers a dead body. Break it down for me into 4 panels and what you're sort of going for.
Jeez. You want 4 poses for the budgie for 4 different panels?
Give me four panels. So, theoretically, all right, maybe we show one of Budgie swooping down, Budgie's feet landing.
I'll tell you something I try to think about with that's not going to work for it. Folks. One thing I'm always thinking about with poses is sort of, particularly with Budgie, is he's got this big upper body, and he'll kind of his head will lunge forward a lot like a bird, and then the pose is always behind, that big upper body triangle.
Yeah.
So I always try and get that lean out of him, so that all this is much bigger, all this top half, than this lower stuff.
Right.
As opposed to, he could stand like this all the time.
Which that's what my characters do. Yeah.
So that'd be quite flat, and then this would be a bit more perspective in that he's leaning into the camera a bit more. So that's sort of thing like that. Budgie has no arms, of course. That's why I'm not drawing arms. Yeah, that's a little something.
Yeah, and so you do try to go for the more dynamic looking.
Yeah.
Pose. Yeah.
I've heard artists say it's like these are the circles you need to worry about, like this top one and this one, and they shouldn't line up very often.
Yeah, that's good thinking. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, good. So you do have a rule. That's a rule. That's a quick rule.
I got there. Yeah.
What about you, Alex? How do you, like, if you're coming up with a pose for one of you're drawing a character, what are you going for? What are you looking for, and how do you find it?
Well, basically for these things here, I basically try to make sure that I can do it within an hour. So although sometimes I start a little bit earlier, but like I'm still animating, but I don't want to show you too much. But yeah, so you just have one. I just do 2 key poses, one start, one beginning. Then I do an in between, and because we're doing dancing now, I'll make sure they loop. So I'll do the first key, a second key, and then I'll use sometimes depending on the dance, I'll use the first key as the last key, because sometimes the in-betweenings, when you go like this, the in-betweens aren't the same. So because there's like a drag and secondary action and all that to think about. So then I'll do like this time around, I kept it pretty even. So I just got 2 keys, 3 in-betweens, and then I'll repeat, cut and paste the other 3 in-betweens, and then they'll loop.
And how, like, coming up with that first frame, are you having a few goes at what it might be, or are you
no time for this stuff? No time on the ComX drink and draw. Just whatever it is, you marry it, and then just go for it. First, it's love at first sight. For a job, I'd be doing like for a job, I'd honestly do I'd do tons and tons. I did a job for a corporate gig for Louis Vuitton ages ago, and we used 4 animations. I literally did 60 animations for that job, and 4 of them got used. It was just part of the process, just going through approvals and all these other stuff as well. So that's just kind of the nature.
Tell us about, so say you're doing it like a logo type thing that's a character. when you supply the client, do you give them a bunch of different sketched poses and then they make comments and before the final, or are you giving them essentially a bunch of what are finals, like inked and colored?
Depends on the client and the art director I have to deal with. So usually I just talk. I have a long, sorry, this is way boring, but yeah, I just have like long conversations. I try to figure out who they are because every art director requires different stuff. Some people just need to know a lot of posing. Some people trust you. Some people trust you less. And sometimes they hire you. Like for the Louis Vuitton gig was great because somebody saw, somebody brought up my my WeChat gifts in a meeting to say we want something like this. And then somebody else says, "Oh, I know that guy." And then I got hired for the job based on, "Oh, we want this guy's style." But generally, they need an artist, and then they don't pick me for my personal style. They pick me because they need an animator, and then I have to work out what they want. And there's like a lot of forwards and backwards of making sure I get the styles right. And usually try to work in black and white first, but some of them, they don't want it. Like some art directors just want full pic. They can't give you feedback without seeing a full picture. And that's usually like an inexperienced art director or somebody who's just not doing their job correctly. Usually a good art director can walk you through roughs to the finished with it before it. So they'll just need you to see the roughs and then just build it up to a final drawing. Yeah. So any art directors watching, if you can't give feedback, unless you get a full feature thing, you're not good at your job. I probably don't want to hire me.
Nick May, you are someone who I would say pushes the limits of poses and dynamic. And one thing you do on this show is, you'll put up, say, Hulk Hogan a couple of weeks ago, but then if you go to your Instagram, you'll see you actually have like 3 other finished Hulk Hogans, and then a whole bunch of blue line sketches that are all kinds of, I feel like, pushing the limits of where arms and whatnot can go. Tell us about your thought process in, are those blue line sketches ones that you were thinking and then just go, no, it's not working? Or do you have something that you set out, like a goal that you were going for and that didn't reach it? Tell us something about your process of finding the right pose.
Well, I guess the blue line stuff is me just putting something down and working out whether I like anything about it, and then taking aspects that I like or thinking I don't like it and going in another direction. Anybody who has seen my comic work will know that to avoid dynamic action, every panel I draw is like a medium shot with one of the arms cropped off. So there's no dynamism. But being from the Neil Blandon school of cartooning, one thing that he always said was make sure that the hips and the shoulders are going in opposite directions. So I generally try to follow that. So draw the shoulders first and then work the hips out in the other direction, except for tonight. I've decided to go with a rectangle. That's
Nick, just to double down on that, what you said, that's just general drawing. Like when you do life drawing and you study a pose of like a human figure, the shoulders and the hips are always, especially like when you're drawing feminine drawings, but even male as well, masculine, but having the shoulders and the hips just move opposite. It's just a rule of thumb.
There you go. So I draw and do what Alex says, except that I never draw female characters.
Just feminine men.
Yeah.
Why don't you draw?
I love Nick's drawings.
Yeah, why don't you draw female characters? Do you think it's not your strong suit?
It's definitely not my strong suit. Just that, I don't know. When you think about cartooning and it's not actually about drawing reality, it's about simplifying stuff. And then, so do you have to make every man super masculine and every woman super feminine? And I don't know. It just brings up too many ideas in my brain, and so it's just easier to steer away from it, I think. Yeah.
I struggle with my female characters looking female, and so I will add the stereotypical, like some big eyelashes or something, and then you start worrying about, well, am I being stereotypical? Am I being, am I the sum of a lady is the eyelashes or whatever? Am I being a problematic douchebag? No, it's just that I'm not very good at this. I that's why I'll draw slugs and toilets. I don't really know the gender of Herb the slug and the Devil's Toilet. I've never really said.
I think they might be asexual, mate.
Asexual what?
In the toilet.
Deviant.
Sexual deviants.
And so Nick, you don't normally sort of draw like how Quick showed us, like with shapes and stuff, right? You just you'll draw a face and the whole head, and that, which is kind of what I do as well.
So I'll draw whatever shape I'm going to do the head, generally an oval, I guess, and work out where the ear is going to be.
Okay.
And then draw a couple of lines for the neck and maybe just a line for the shoulders, and then I just draw the whole thing. And I think because I draw digitally, I don't have to worry too much about underdrawing or whatever. I can just draw almost finished, I guess, just a little bit of scribble, and then I'll just digitally ink over the top. But and I sort of hope, but I don't think that it always works, that maintains a little bit of the spontaneity or freedom or whatever in the finished pose.
Yeah, right. What about you, Kelsey? How do you find a pose that you're happy with?
If I'm being honest, I just kind of make it up until I like what I like what I say. Sorry, that was a Catholic Kim reference. That's my mistake. So I'm pretty intuitive. Like, my life drawing teacher low-key hated me on a technical level because I would just do what I wanted until it felt right, and then have absolutely no idea how to explain that to him, which is obviously the whole point of studying. But yeah, I think what Alex said, touched on before, like poses, like when you have the shoulders facing one way and the the hips facing another way, you kind of, it feels right.
Yeah,
I think that's how I operate, but I don't necessarily quantify it by saying, oh, I did this to achieve this result and this aesthetic, which I probably should do more, because I think it would be beneficial for me as a practitioner. But in general, I've managed to skate by on just being like, this feels right and this doesn't. So
yeah, right. I'm really embarrassed by the how much the hips and the shoulders thing, how they shouldn't be, like, that makes so much sense, and yet my drawing tonight, the guy could not be standing more straighter and dynamicless. So yeah, but I'm learning, mate. I'm learning. What about you, Dave? We've spoken a little bit. Like, how do you go about finding the right pose for, like, maybe your single pieces of, like, a panel of
well, you're talking if it's for a specific script that you're following a comic story, and it'll probably be detail or might be mentioned, or you've got an idea in your head that, okay, I want people sitting and that sort of thing. So you sort of think about it for a bit, and then I'll start to loosely draw, a bit like how I did here, loosely draw in things, a bit like this. I don't know, can you see that?
Yeah.
So, those figures there, just sort of loosely draw them in there. And then if I don't like that fella on the far right, that leg sticking up, that's no good. So, and the other leg, so I'd just work my way around, a bit like Kelsey was saying, just be a bit intuitive as to keep fiddling around till you get it the way you want it.
Yeah. Dave, I got a question. You said you don't like that fella. Is it just an aesthetic thing, or is there more of a personal thing between you and that guy?
It's between me and him, to tell you the truth. But
you want to tell us what it is? Like, what did he do? Because I'm on your side, Dave.
He's got an axe, though. Look, so
yeah,
I've only got a brush.
I thought you were going to say he has an axe to grind. I was like, oh, that's a great joke. I love it.
I'm not not quick enough to have those sort of jokes, mate. You got Spedsy's the man for the jokes.
David, if you've got if a script calls for a panel of two people sitting at a table talking, are you trying to find a dynamic, like an angle that makes that dynamic, or are you just going for, the cameras at chest height?
Yeah. Well, you've got to make it interesting, I suppose. So maybe you might do an overhead shot, or how long are they talking to? Depends what you want to see. Do you want to see their faces? Whose face do you want to see?
Yeah,
the person talking. Is there something on the table or something that needs to be highlighted? More concentrate on it. So there's a lot of variations there. So
right.
It depends on the story that'll help you dictate just what you'll end up with there.
Yeah, good answer. What about you, Brad? Do you spend a long time, trying to find the right pose?
No, I look. First of all, I have to say, as a preface, I barely consider myself an artist. So my background is in writing, and I just try hard at doing art.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind that my background is in writing, for me, it's all about the page layout. So it all, like an individual panel, depends on what comes before and what comes after. And much like Kelly was saying, we got I go very much on instinct.
Yeah.
But also because I've read so many comics in my life, because I've been a comic fan since I was like 7 or something like that. I have a really good inbuilt just like instinct for what would look good. And I think for me the most important thing, the way I determine the framing and the posing and stuff like that, is it has to look interesting to me. If it doesn't, so I don't have I don't know where people's shoulders and hips are.
Yeah.
But if it's not looking interesting, if it looks boring, and I can do boring really well, if it looks at all boring, and I'm like, I have to do this again. I have to start from scratch and try and get it out. Something that I've been encountering a lot in those comic pages I've been doing lately. Yeah. So what do you reckon?
No, yeah. Well, firstly, I think your art's awesome, but also you're not alone really in. I've had lots of those same feelings myself, where for the longest time I was just kind of, if something came out and it looked like a person, then I was happy, because of my own worst critic. It's only like in the last couple of years it feels like that I've more and more tried to push the limits of my own limits or whatever, not the of trying to make things look more dynamic. And I remember I did the first page of the Devil's Toilet one like 8 years ago or something, and I sent it to a friend because I was really proud of it, and I just said, like any comments or whatever, and he was totally awesome, but he just said, it looks good, but I would just say my only comment would be like, the camera is in the same spot for the whole page. And I was like, oh yeah, holy crap, it really is. That's where I don't know, that's where I've always been able to draw. I used the word able, like that was where I felt like, sometimes I felt like I was lucky to get something to look like something. So dynamics be damned, I'm just happy it looks like a person.
Well, I think you raise a thing that is like you said, the I don't know, cinematic. I heard that word. Tell me I'm not wrong. And yeah, I mean, a lot of particularly modern comic book storytelling, because I do my own stuff, and I also do the Tales Too Stupid to Tell, which is repurposing old art. And a lot of the old art is very stationary, like you're describing. Is that like if you come across something that's from a low camera angle or a high camera angle, it's like, oh my god, these guys, they're breaking the shackles of the 1950s comic art. Yeah, and I think a lot of inspiration, a lot of the visual language from comics is shared and cross-pollinated with cinematic language. So, and that's another thing that we all have a lot of exposure to. So we sort of internalize it without actually being able to physically describe what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to quickly show you guys what I'm working on at the moment, because this week I am doing something different. I'm not doing digital. I'm doing like pen and ink.
Oh, right.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah. And I want to show it to you before I do the inking, before I get too far into the inking, because it's going to end up looking pretty thing. This is like, this is hell.
Yeah, that's looking good, mate.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great, Brad.
No worries at all. So that's like obviously from the Thor comic book, and yeah. So I wanted to show you that while I was still working on it, and also my reference for today: Tales of Asgard by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and there's some great stuff in there. It's like not Thor comics. It's like just basically Tales of Asgard, like they said.
I think there's an awesome Valkyrie story in there. I think I've read bits and pieces of it. The original Valkyrie was my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite Viking comic is Northlanders.
Oh yeah.
3 volumes of just monstrous. It's an anthology, but with reoccurring characters. So you might sort of like go and spend some time with these people, then go off with the story with these other people, and then come back to the original people years down the track. Yeah, it's like, I don't know how many issues it must be, like 3 chunky sized omnibusy type things. And yeah, I absolutely devoured them in a number of days. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous stuff.
Yeah.
Should we take a look at yeah. Sorry, Brad.
I thought this might be your favourite Viking.
Yeah, Dave. Dave, tell us a little bit about you tackling a famous Viking type story.
Yeah, well, I've always had an interest in the Viking legends, so I was quite happy to do that. So I always, probably didn't know as much about them as, Kelsey's got a lot more deeper knowledge than I have. So it's only what I've sort of read in the legends that, hey, I'll tell you something. I've got Danish heritage. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I had this thing called diputrins in my hand, which is which makes your fingers curl up. And the doc, when I went and saw the doc about it, he says that's called Vikings disease.
No,
wow.
A lot of the Vikings used to get this problem, and
because they had Vikings that had bearded axes, and they were all constantly like gripping.
Well, I think it's maybe from rowing, hanging onto them oars and rowing. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what everyone else said, too much of something else.
Clubbing the meat like quick.
Yeah.
So Dave,
that's what all my mates said. And another thing, my daughter went to Sweden for a holiday, and she was just driving around the countryside, and they came to a crossroads, and there's a little sort of a hamlet there or something, and the sign up was Dye, D-Y-E.
Oh.
That was in
That's
Sweden.
where they changed the colour of clothes.
Yeah. Now, Dave, that's also your last name. Did you realise that?
Oh, hang on. Hang on. Let me read my name tag. Check my license.
Yeah, wow. Awesome.
So, Dave, because you're a big scientist about Vikings, what's the deal with, like, I've heard some nerd on the internet once say that apparently the horns is just some kind of like mythical Hollywood BS about Vikings, and most Vikings did not have horns on their helmets. What up with that, yo?
Yeah, I've heard that too. Do you know anything about that, Kelsey?
No, I do not. I don't watch a lot of Hollywood stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, I've just heard the same thing, Alex, that apparently they didn't really put horns on
They
there.
drank out of them, I think, more so than wore them because they were just convenient. But
yeah, no, it's mainly about these horns that they say. You see these horns here.
Yeah. So I'm just reading up on it now. Horned helmets falsely attributed to Vikings are actually nearly 3,000 years old. For many years in popular culture, people associated the Vixo helmet with the Vikings, but actually it's nonsense. The horned theme is from the Bronze Age and is traceable back to the ancient Near East. Viking society only developed in the 9th century, and there is no sign that Vikings really wore horned helmets. According to History.com, the legend likely originated with Scandinavian artists in the 1800s, who popularized portrayals of the nomadic raiders wearing the equipment in their works.
So we need to basically contact ComX, the Swedish chapter, to figure this out. Is it like a bunch of Swedish comic artists just go like, you know what would look cool? If we put horns on the Vikings helmet. But that's not true. I don't care. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Durga. I don't know.
Turns out they weren't as horny as previously mentioned.
Oh, boy. Oh, dear.
What's up, Dave? Swedish people watching to confirm this or deny? Like, even if you're not watching, if you're a Swedish person and you just stumble upon this and it's not live, you can still leave comments there on the bottom so we can later on take a look. So thank you, future Swedish person.
Funnily enough, while talking about Swedish people, on next week's show, we will be drawing and discussing the Muppets. Now, my big question for the Swedish people I would love to answer for next week. Is it true that you put the dog in the pot? Because that's what the Muppets led me to. You put the dog in the pot. So, yeah, if you could drop us a line next week. Sis, let's look at some artwork.
Let's do that. Okay, first up, we have Michael McConaughey's.
Yeah, Mike.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That looks really good.
He's gracious.
Moly.
Nice. And look at this, no horns on that Viking. That's legit.
No.
I feel like I'm being shaded right now.
See, I just like to give people a hard time here, and I was like, I haven't bullied you yet. So.
No, I'm finally not new enough to be like immune to it.
Yeah.
Just quietly, Mike stole my pose too. My guy has a shield on his back and he's holding an axe the same way. Far less dynamic, I dare say.
The next one is Chris Kebblewhite. He's gone for the Thor legend.
Oh, Chris. Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Wow, that's something different.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Thor's hammer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Mew mew.
I'm not even going to try.
Mjolnir.
Milky
Mew mew.
No.
Hammer. There you go.
No.
Famous outtake from the first Thor movie where Kat Dennings had to say Mjolnir as it flew past. She couldn't say it, so she just said meow meow. Yeah, worth looking up. It's hilarious. You can tell from all the laughing how funny.
And this one, I have not seen art from Linton Smith before. Maybe I missed the show, but here we go.
Oh, wacky.
I know Linton
Oh,
Smith.
wow.
Linton Smith is a teacher. Her name is Lucy, and I used to teach with her, and I urged her to send some art in. She did this design for a dude, and it's been printed on a silk scarf, and she is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So look up Lucy Linton Smith on Instagram or LLS Art or something. She's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
wow.
great, Lucy.
It's
Well done.
awesome.
You couldn't get her to teach you anything, Nick? Or
No, she left before she could teach me anything other than humility.
So
Yeah.
I got a quick question, and it's just with utmost respect. I'm not trying to be rude, but didn't Björk once wear the same outfit for like a show for Cannes Film Festival or something like that?
Yeah. Based on the Norse tradition of wearing what you kill.
Yeah, because she's from Iceland, so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
so disrespectful, Alex.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lucy.
I'm gonna be cancelled. Well, some people feel like I'm not trying to bring it up as a because I think she got mocked when she was wearing that outfit because she just wore like a bird. But just that's one reminded me of it, but not in a. Anyways, dig up.
Next up. Yeah, cool. Davo77.
It's all so quiet.
Hey.
Hagar the Horrible by Dick
Yeah.
Brown.
No,
Do you
keep
know
it
him?
clean, Dave.
Radio, Dave.
He was good, good
Dick
cartoon.
Brown.
That one. Well done.
Mine's more of a flesh color, but anyways, what?
Oh,
Oh,
I believe
Okay.
does the art now.
let's just let that-
Davo77 also sent in this one.
That's lucky Eddie.
yeah. Bring it up. Oh yeah, that's his offsider. Excellent. I don't know his name.
Unreal, Davo.
Now,
Yeah,
poor
good one,
Davo,
Davo.
he likes to gather his kids around and sit down and watch as his art is shown on the big screen. So now his kids will learn, well, a thing or two about Alex.
Not to be
Get
anywhere
around,
near him.
It's time for Daddy's art to be shown on the TV.
Sorry.
Mine's more of a fleshy colour. Like they is, children.
Well, on to the next one. Dan May. He went with
Oh,
both.
nice.
Good work,
Okay,
man.
so
Oh
that
wow.
Hagar the Horrible thing's
Yeah.
continuing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a ripper,
Love
mate.
it.
Well done.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Dan.
Who is
Dan and I did have a discussion about Asterix and whatever, and obviously he moved away from them based on my incredible advice. So you're welcome, Dan, and went with Hagar.
Cool.
Very good.
Darren
Dan.
Huddy, regular to the show and to the Discord
Ah,
channel.
good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mondo.
That's
Nice.
Oh, good.
Very
Wow,
solid
very
drawing.
good.
Did we see
Well
the?
done,
Did he have
Dan.
like a build up
Unreal.
to that on the?
Yes, he did
Discord?
in the Discord. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that
So it's a
lighting's
Heimdall Tron crossover.
Yeah. I didn't question it.
Both
No
Disney.
need to. It's two great tastes that taste great together.
I'll taste you in a minute.
Yum yum.
Cool. And Rob O'Connor. Now, call me ignorant, but who is Brian Blessed?
Blessed.
Oh,
Oh, Brian Blessed.
He
Brian
played
Blessed.
the
sorry.
leader of the Hawkmen in Flash Gordon.
Oh,
Gordon's
see, the
all
face
right.
looked familiar, but I couldn't put it where it was familiar. Okay, cool.
I don't know
You're
that
so
one. But
ignorant, Liz.
he was in Arthur.
I
of
am.
the
I'm very
Britons.
ignorant to all things pop culture.
Did you watch Arthur of the Britons when you were a young fella, Brad or Nick?
Never heard of it.
Yep.
No,
Oh, okay.
wasn't allowed to
Well,
watch TV.
That's right. I forgot. Sorry for bringing back those
Yeah,
bad
thanks a lot,
memories.
Yeah.
You Visigoths.
Dave.
Nick learned everything he knows from rock paintings inside the cave.
Now for something very dynamic.
Yeah, get ready.
You ready for it?
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Hey.
Ratio.
Yeah, but
I'm
if
in
your
love with
shoulders
that.
are flat, then your hips are
Nice
flat.
one,
So it makes
mate.
sense.
It's a ripper.
And that guy's got sensitive nipples too. See the
Yeah,
band.
I saw that.
He's put a
It's
bit
a
of band.
public service announcement. It's
Yeah.
great.
The poor boy didn't think to do it until it was bleeding, but yeah.
That's something
Well
I'd
done,
do.
Robert.
That's something I'd do. Okay, Janet.
Hold on.
Locke.
I'm going to sneak in on this one, Sizzle. I want to go next.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yep, sneak in.
Here we go.
Oh.
It's your boy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
That is
He's
awesome.
got nipple horns.
The belt horn is a little suggestive.
Yeah, just a touch.
Is
Why'd
it
you
also
say that?
flesh color or?
I love the quicks that keep evolving as you watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Horns on horns. I love it.
Mm.
All right, that'll do it.
Do I
Okay,
make you horny, baby?
back to Janet.
Janet
Right.
Locke.
Janet.
Nice.
Yeah, very good.
Great
Janet.
stuff, Janet.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Wicked.
I'll just
Wicked.
download something while you're looking at that.
Very historically accurate, I'm sure.
Yeah, I like the armor. It's
Yeah.
cool. A little silver kick.
Yeah.
How do we know that and how did they do it? How did they shave the sides of their heads like that?
With swords, you
Oh,
can
yeah,
tell
swords.
by how much
Philly shave.
blood's coming out of her head.
Did you say a Philly shave, Alex?
Yeah, because like Philips is from the Netherlands. They probably just before they went off and just on the boat rides, they just stopped over in Holland, and then they just grabbed the Philips branded shavers, and then they went.
They liked it so much they bought the company.
No.
that
They
was
just bought the
Remington.
products. They weren't
was
businessmen.
Victor
They were
Kayan.
just consumers.
Norseman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm not too sure. Has Danny Zamp sent art in before? Or is this his...
The name is familiar.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Sorry, Danny, I can't remember. But here is
Nice.
his Viking sword.
I like this very much.
Cool.
That-
That's
All right.
it.
Danny Zamp.
He added a
G'day,
goat
Danny,
too.
how are you, mate?
Yeah.
Watching.
Yeah,
And
Danny.
before I go to
Hugs.
Tony's, Danny then sent in Viking scribbles.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
It's all really good. I love this.
Good to see you, Danny.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, Danny.
Excellent, mate.
I like
Bloody
the dude
awesome.
watching TV cuddling his sword. He's not got cheese all over him.
That's real good, mate. Good to see you. How are you, mate?
And it's that
Keep 'em
time of
coming,
night
Danny,
where we
that's
get... Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, sis.
I was just going to say Tony Menzie, quite the regular to the show.
Mm.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Oh, Tony.
okay.
Wow.
Oh, good tone.
Tony is not shy using colors. That
The
is
detail.
Something.
colorful. That is in your face.
Yeah. That's vibrant. Brilliant,
Yeah.
Tony, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, Tony.
Then we have Robbie Dawson.
Oh, Robbie back
Oh,
again.
nice.
Good on you,
Robbie.
Well done, Robbie.
Nice
Loving
one,
all
mate.
these people contributing. We're having a pretty big selection today.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think quite a good selection most weeks lately. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Wow.
then we have Mr. Nick Mays.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Yeah, nice, mate.
Historically
What a-
accurate shoes.
Very-
You know, they
love it.
weren't going to be there, and I thought, what's Alex going to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll
I'm
complain.
gonna. I don't know. We need to continue this.
You know, a few things I'm jealous of. The dents in the shield. I didn't think to do that. That's awesome.
The lopsided
fur-
hammer handle? Yeah.
The fur coat thing. So, did you ink that first, or did you do colored blobs and then give them the little
Oh,
feathering around the edges?
I inked it first.
Wow, that's awesome. I wish I had thought.
Is it
To
Thor
do that
or
like
Odin? Who is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of Odin. It's hard to see, but I blacked out one of his eyes because obviously Odin plucked out an eye as an offering, and then it was just all made up. I had a look at my favorite movie of all times, or second favorite movie, Kung Fury, where Thor appears, and I just sort of wanted to go for that sort of vibe.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
Nice, mate. That's excellent.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
I'm not an idiot. RoboCop, 1987, Paul Verhoeven.
I don't know why that's not surprising. I don't know why
I thought he did a better job with
Alex.
the bug one. Oh, sorry. Rob, apologies. I'm one of those C words. Sorry, I almost even said the C word.
A cinephile.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Well, let's
Viking brand.
It's not too late to send in your artwork if you are still scribbling at home. We've still got 15 to 20 minutes of the show left.
Yeah.
We might check back in with Dave and see what he's up to. How are you traveling, Dave? You going to make it, do you think?
No. Not. That's it there. Just slapping in some shadows now that are...
Oh, cool.
It is a beautiful
Dave.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's fair way from finished, I guess. But anyway, I'll put some arrows coming in from here from...
Yeah.
Looking good, Dave.
Thanks, mate.
Nice.
See, I don't know how you have the balls to, like, I'm just going to randomly add arrows. I'd be so scared it's going to stop.
Because he's got Dinky's spare ones.
In a jar next to him, giving him life. How is Dinky going in this weather, Dave?
He's loving it. Going
Really?
down there today and he's covered in mud.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He gets all woolly in the winter time because he puts on a winter coat. His own.
Okay.
He grows a thick mat of hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you throw a tarp over him, sort of thing? Or are you
A lot of people do, but I don't.
A lot of people throw tarps over your horse.
Over their horses.
You're from doing that, mate.
By the time you get there, these poor guys laying on the ground, there's so many tarps. We've all been there, am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, Kelsey, why don't we check in with you, or as Brad likes to say, Kesley.
I'm so sorry.
Take a look.
I thought I was going to mention that. Oh, sorry.
No, I like taking them up.
Let me move my dumb character out the way.
Oh, that's
There you
looking
go.
good, Kelsey.
Yeah, looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice drawing.
Great character.
Is that dragon
Hey.
trained?
Oh, God, I hope so. He looks like he is.
Do you rug that dragon at night in the wintertime, Kels?
I mean, I would like to say yes, because I think seeing a dragon coat would be freaking awesome. a little horse coat.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to use the tarp. It'd be like a circus.
But we've
tent.
got Shetland ponies, so we don't
have
have
you?
to rug them.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Just throw them over a dragon.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Rug
like,
them.
I don't know about regular horses, but Shetland pony winter coats, you can't actually, like, get through them.
Pretty,
They're so thick.
pretty- Yeah, right. That's what they grow. You're talking about, or
Yeah, it just gets, well, it doesn't get long, but it gets, like, thick and coarse and, like, a coat on another coat. It's like, it's layers to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Same with Dinky. I didn't know you
Yeah,
had horses, Kelsey.
I got a Shetland pony when I was a teenager, and then we woke up one morning and she'd given birth to a foal. So
Oh my God.
You got 2 for the price of 1.
I know, but my mum used to be
Bargain.
a horse trainer, so for a living. So
All right.
we've always kind of had
who was it? Shaden, I think. Yeah, Shaden's mum. And Shaden's got horses.
That's who we bought our pony from. Shaden's
Oh,
mum.
did you?
Yeah.
That's a small world.
After all.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. Do you know, I've got this little ash can called Mule, and it's just like it was part of an anthology where it was just the anthology theme was animal, and the first thing I thought of was mule. I don't know why, but I've had it on my table at Comic Cons. And I'll often just throw it in someone's bag for free if they order 2 comics or something. But I had a lady walk past and go, "Oh my God, I love mules! Mules are the best!" And showed her bag, and it had mules drawn all over it, and just like the randomest, like it's the nichest of niche markets. I've totally tapped.
Well done, mate. Good foresight.
Sorry, Dave, we've got about 20 minutes. You'll get there. Just keep trying.
I didn't want to say something rude that 4 might be associated with.
I already said something rude, Dave, so I don't think you're going to top me. But if you want to outdo me, go for it, Dave. I think we'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you didn't think of what I was trying to not say, mate.
Well, Kelsey said thick and coarse before, and Alex didn't bat an eyelid. So I don't know. Maybe our boys, he's growing up. He's growing up so
Lost
fast.
his edge.
Yeah.
No, wait. I'm just waiting for a moment to interrupt. So that's all.
Yeah. I said before this show, everyone pick your shots a little bit. Let's not talk over each other. And I think I've killed Alex's spontaneity.
Yeah.
Hey, it's RoboCop meets Odin.
Speaking of RoboCop, Nick, what did you like? Did you like the Space Viking stories, Starship Troopers?
It was okay, but it was not RoboCop.
Oh shit!
I liked it better. By definition,
I liked it better than RoboCop. Just saying.
Be quiet, Alex.
Oh.
That's just silly.
I've just put it
that's
out some
thick and coarse.
Remake RoboCop
and OCop, of course.
Yeah, they did. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
rubbish. The original.
It wasn't rubbish. It just wasn't good.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, RoboCop. Anyway.
We got another picture in.
Oh, please.
Yep, Alistair Lockhart. I'm guessing it's because I put the email down the bottom finally, even though it should be there at the whole show.
This will be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very beautifully rendered.
Alistair kicks ass. That is so good.
That's great, Alistair. Well done, mate.
I'm curious if Alistair's watching. Are you growing your hair back long? Because I know you had a short hair for a while.
Send us an email with your reply, Alistair.
Send before and after photos, please.
I mean, the silly thing is, I kind of want to know. I know he's coming for his wedding. Is he growing it back? It's not a stupid question, Alex. I'm with you. Millions are against you, but I got you back. Should we while our 2 tradish folks? We've got 3 traditional folks, actually. How's your inking going there, Brad?
I'll show you how we're going. Not sparing the black.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, good one.
Oh, it's looking good. It's working out very well.
That's good, mate. Yeah, very
Thank
good.
you.
Chuck the bloody pad. What do you draw with normally? The
iPad.
iPad, yeah. Chuck it away, mate.
Oh.
You tried to pick up my used iPad, mate.
Just tell me where to drop it.
Chuck it away. Here's my address.
Well, yeah, Sis, maybe we can, while our traditional folks are finishing up and whatnot, we could take a look at, we could talk about ourselves for a little bit.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Let's do a little bit of this.
This poor person is looking through the newspaper for info on what projects our artists have been working on. And this lost individual is using a map to find where she can follow our artists on social media and buy their books. How about we save them the trouble and just tell them? We call this next segment shameless self-promotion.
Well, I'm having a bit of a look in the background here, and it looks like there's going to be a bit more of what I'm about to do. And what I'm about to do is cheat.
Yeah.
I'm going to let a video do all the talking for me. So here we go. And look, I'll make sure I'm pressing the right one. Haven't quite got it in the right angle there. So that link down the bottom there, stellarlands.comx.studio will get you to this book's Kickstarter. And doing a bit of a special, if you order a physical book in the next 2 days, so over the weekend, I will throw in one of these.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh, wow.
So you need to reply to my thank you message with a I saw Drink and Draw or I saw Aussieverse. So I know that you're doing it for this. So, and then I will give you one of those books. So remember to tell me that there's a reason you're pledging. And that includes people who've already pledged. Send me a message and I'll add this to your pledge as well. So it's not just the people pledging now, it's all the people who pledged. You saw this video, tell me you saw Drink and Draw, and I'll throw that in if you had a physical pledge.
Very good.
Features story and art by Peter Wilson, Lauren Marshall, Ryan Bella, Hayden Sparrow, Ben Sullivan. Also has panels from myself, from Nick May. Alex, are you in there?
Yep.
Quick, I'm not sure. Are you in there, Quick?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Dave, are you in there?
Yeah, I got a panel in there.
Yeah. So and many more. Yeah. So worth a look. And then like working for ComX has its perks. I got an advanced copy of Stellar Lands, so well worth picking up. An ambitious world building, beautiful looking first issue. So get on board. The hype train is real. Speaking of, I'm just going to hype a friend's book. I was lucky enough to help put this thing together. It's 100% Ryan Bella's craziness. I got to edit it, and me and Sis are teaming up to put this thing out. I thought I might just show you a quick little video. It goes for 30 seconds. Brace yourself. Here it goes.
Get that out. Oh!
Yeah, so Battery Head.
Nice.
Yeah, just to interrupt, I like that song. We should have that song for the dancing segment. Just saying.
Yeah, well, that's Viper Syndicate. That's Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say, where'd you get that wonderful music?
Only makes sense to team up Ryan's music with Ryan's comic, which will be available alongside Ring Around the Rosie. So that has a little notify me thing up at the moment, rosie.comx.studio. we'll be launching sometime after Stellar Lands has been funded, because we dare not eat each other's audience, and we know that money is tight at the moment for a lot of people. So comics often fall down the priority list. So give each other some space to breathe, and then pick up some books. But here to talk about his cool books is the man they call Nick Cleary.
I thought I'd talk about Flyboys today. Here's one of my favorite pages in Flyboys. This is Mr. Velocity, and as you can see, it's
yes, that's an awesome
this little pose here. This man's leaning forward. There's a bit of dynamic posing going on. His chest is forward. His hips are back. You can find that at detectivebudgie.com, which is a website I own where you can buy my comics.
Yeah, and then if you look, you can look at my story, which is chest up, close up, closer up.
Where it's next to.
Close up, straight on. Oh, dynamic, a little bit of dynamism. Chest up. Yeah, good times. Get into it.
And there's my story in Flyboys.
Yeah.
Dynamic.
Now,
Angles.
Dave, you drew yours straight onto parchment that you found.
No, I drew it on white paper, but Quick Nick, being the totally artistic fella and great bloke that he is, put it on that colour background, and that really just finished that story off. It's brilliant.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, turned a drab story into something brilliant. Well done, mate.
I just wanted it to look even better than it was.
That's another nice one.
Oh,
Anyway.
Alex, talk to us.
Blah 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 blah. I've got nothing to say. Except that I do have my copy of Stellar Lands, and I must say I was actually very impressed with it. Like, I don't think enough people talk about it. This reminded me of back in the days of like Image Comics. I reckon, the artwork is by Ben Worrell, deserves a special shout out, because I think this is like is this his debut comic?
I don't think so. No.
No. Okay. Well, it doesn't. Well, if it is a debut comic, amazing. If not,
I mean, he should be working for Marvel and DC straight away. I don't know how you don't see those pages and snatch him up. It's next level stuff.
Yeah, so it's very good stuff. I also, what nobody talks about, so, look, it does like little cartoony drawings here.
Comics in there.
Yeah, regular as well. So, so there's plenty of reasons to pick it up. So I haven't got a new comic coming out, except because depending on Rob, when Rob brings out Vamoose 4 next year, I'll be pimping that. And,
battery hand, it's coming.
And then battery hand next year. So I already started on my page. It's someplace in this. It's a different tablet, so it's on there. Still figuring it out. So that's it for me. And Nick now is going to talk about my animations about the YouTube shows.
Yeah, because you all love what you have seen tonight on the YouTubes. We're all hoping that you will, I guess, subscribe.
We're meant to be dancing, you guys. What are you talking about? We can do it.
And like, because this is what everybody likes. So make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe, and because you don't want to miss anything, ring that godforsaken bell so you get notifications every time a new video comes out or is coming up. And then look out when you sit on the toilet. You don't want. I mean, you might, maybe you don't.
To you, because you still work in a school. Do you still have, like, when I was going to primary school in Australia for a year to learn English, we had a kid that had to go. I think it was like the school captain. Every lunch had to run up and down the school with a bell. You still have that?
No. That would have been when the 1860s. I think.
No, it was 90s. This would have been 1991.
Advanced a little bit. Yeah.
1991 North Sydney Demonstration School.
Yeah.
So if anybody from that school, from that era, can you please verify it in the comments that we had a guy?
Yes,
kid-
we used to.
I was
when
born
I
like
was
10 years
in-
later, so no.
When I was in school, we used to have to walk around with a bell as well.
Oh, so you had that. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that was in the 70s, Alex, in the 870s. I have some stuff in Nick's Flyboys. I've got some stuff in other ComX things. I've also got a Ryan Vella page coming up. I've got some Vamoose 4 pages coming up. But what I want to push tonight is a selfish thing. My daughter Bryony just finished her Bachelor of Animation. And so I urge everyone to go to YouTube and look up Bryony May and look for her final movie, Mania, which, as a father, I'm incredibly proud of. But, yeah.
How do I spell Bryony? Briney?
Just like I've got it on the screen, Bryony.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Baby. But enough about my family.
Well,
Kelsey.
Nick, can you upload it? Can we show it on the show next week, perhaps?
Yes.
Oh,
In
awesome.
fact, I'll almost insist.
Okay, done. That'd be wicked.
It does go for 3 minutes, though, or over 3 minutes.
I got time. Well, maybe we'll finish the show with it next week. That'll be our 3-minute outro.
Brilliant.
Kelsey,
Sorry,
just fell off.
Kelsey.
No, that's all good. I just spilt tea all over my work computer. So.
Hey.
Hey!
Oh, gee.
It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. I don't start work till Monday. It's fine.
Dip it in rice.
Yeah, dip it in rice, exactly. Oh, I was hoping I was going to be able to finish this, but I just fussed around too much.
Yeah, it looks great. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
Got my stupid character out the way again.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
very good, Kelsey.
I feel like I'm at the stage where, like, you know, when like you everything looks okay, and then you get like maybe halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, and it looks like dog shit. But then you do like 1 or 2 accent details, and suddenly it looks really good, and you're like, oh, you just got pushed through that bad phase. I'm like getting to the bad phase, so I'm getting stressed because it's on camera.
It's fantastic,
people can see
Kelsey.
it.
Looks awesome.
You gotta trust the process sometimes.
Yeah, I do, but like I know in my head, I'm like, oh, people are gonna look at this and they're gonna be like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
And I don't know because I'm just intuitively scribbling.
That's great. You just sort of that had just evolved as you were working on it.
Yeah, I didn't even have an idea when I came on, but I know like I should prepare stuff better, but I like the whole drawing like live while I'm chatting or listening to you guys talk. So
yeah, right. Even Alex?
Yeah, even Alex.
All right. Alex, you got a fan.
Especially Alex.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I come
Mike.
for Alex.
I'm not gonna say anything to that, but I just I'm now
Couldn't help himself. Couldn't help himself.
Who's next on the screen? Dave?
Yep. Okay. Seeing it's Viking night, we'll talk about. This is my Beowulf comic. It's got 2 stories in here. Legend of Beowulf. And the first one is Beowulf and Grendel. A little bit of the artwork there.
Beautiful.
Nudity.
Yeah, bit of nudity in there. So you better not get your eyes on that, mate, without parents' permission. Bit of chalk in it.
Chock a block.
Yeah. Bit of blood and gore. Then the next story is Beowulf and the Dragon. So that's got a. So it's based on the Nordic legend of Beowulf. So that's available here at the ComX shop. It's at Owner Indie and Heroes Headquarter in Ballarat.
Oh, cool.
And that's me picture pretty much
Hell yeah.
Oh, brilliant, Dave.
Love it. Horns and all. Nice.
I want to read a whole comic of that now.
All right, that's all from me. Over to Brad, otherwise known as Daniel.
Hey. Rightio. Okay, I finished it mere seconds ago.
Yeah.
Nice. Ripper, mate.
I love the cape being white. That's wicked.
Well, that's because I ran out of time.
Well, looked like you meant it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just like I was using the old Jack Kirby Hell costume as reference, and oh my god, there's so much detail on it. I'm glad I blacked out most of it. Crazy.
Awesome.
Looks good, mate. Really good.
Cool. And I
Good
guess
size.
talking about things, I sent you a QR code to destroy the iPad. Shane, I sent you a QR code. Have you got that there?
Oh, yes. I was wondering what that was. Hang on. Give me a sec.
This is me being clever.
Oh, so people can like scan the screen or something?
Yeah. So I'm going to be in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing a Kickstarter for this Volume 2 collection of Tales Too Stupid to Tell, which is my spoof humor comic where I take old comics and I change all the words. I found a very strong candidate for the cover today, which is a spaceman fighting a witch. It's amazing, from a 1954 comic. So if you're interested in having a laugh and just checking out old cool comic art and with stupid jokes thrown in, sign up for that. And the Kickstarter will be launching in a couple of weeks. And like everyone else
and it
here,
yay! Yeah, I tried it.
Ah, we got a puppy. We got a puppy. Nick's got a puppy.
That's Vegemite.
I should show these because my son did these today and said, could I show them on Drink and Draw? So I forgot but he's been working on drawing this fish guy.
Good.
He figured if he puts his age on there, they would go for a higher price.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Carter, the 7-year-old. So he's been trying to master this fish. And he's been trying to sell them for $1 each. I told him it took me 40 years to get to a point where people would buy things that I drew. But he reckons he can smash it out in 7. So we'll see how it goes. So if you want a piece of original art, hit me up at $20 each, free postage.
I reckon he's influenced by Rob Liefeld. Got lots
Rob Lyle.
Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
He's got lots of detail, and he can't draw the feet.
Speaking of just because we're praising people's kids, I did take a look, Nick, at your daughter's animation. It's really, really good. So I reckon, like, if we can get it on the show to just go, it's like a little music video. It looks very good, and it's got very nice little stylings. It's got a little bit of an anime influence, but it's very toony. So
cool.
So I'm not trying to be. I genuinely think it's really good. So I reckon it'd be a good thing to throw on the show.
Thank you, Alex.
And Bryony, if you are watching that little soundbite, Alex, quickly just make her feel awesome by running down your resume real quick. This is a guy who's worked for animating a Disney.
Just type in my name and IMDb.
Jungle Book 2.
Yeah, the man knows what he's talking about when it comes to animation. So yeah, high praise. That's awesome. Sid, have we got a last piece of art that snuck in? Is that what I'm?
Yes, we got one that snuck in from Chris Kebblewhite. Drew this during the show. It looks like.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Excellent, mate.
I want to do that with my beard.
I feel bad that like he's in the middle of the show, he's drawing, there's horns on it, and then we spent like 5 minutes saying how like Vikings don't have horns. So,
I also love the idea that the Viking has a little boat on his belt, which is like Dude, we spent all day on these boats. Why would you never want to have it on your pants as well?
It's like registration number, so he can find which boat he works on.
Well, we have one last Viking we have to check in with, and that's Dancing Viking by way of our resident animator, Alex Major. So let's take a look now at who the person might be dancing with. Feel free to dance at home if you like.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
in the rope.
Who is that?
I was going to say, what's he doing exactly?
The quick step.
Of course, that's the protagonist from Stellar Land. Stellar Land.
Yes.
Right.
Daphne.
Great, Alex.
A second, I got to tell people I'm still live.
Stanley looks like a cork.
Yeah, I reckon Ichigo fighting is probably a little bit people by questioning what's going on.
Until they know who did it, Alex.
Good, right, man. Really good. You can't go through them all with the ear to bloody midnight. You got to feel
Dave. So suck on that.
Great stuff, Alex.
And what a way to go out. Everyone should, in their life, take time to tell Dave to suck on that. So I think there's something in that for all of us. So if you have the time and the inclination and some spare dollars, do go check out ComX.shop. A bunch of comics from a bunch of people, many of which have appeared on this very show. It's a way to support the community and whatnot. Next week, we will be talking and drawing Muppets. So I already predict Dave's going to hate that.
I won't be here.
Well, is that really?
He really hates it.
Why?
Sorry.
Okay, well, Dave won't be here, so that makes sense.
So we're all going to draw it like Dave as a Muppet and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are working on the Muppet already, mate.
Now, drawing Muppets, but also in that you can include Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street.
Jim Henson, basically.
Oh, what about the Feebles? The scary Muppets.
Oh, go for it.
Did anyone else get traumatized by the Feebles under false pretenses? Raise your hand.
I knew what I was in for.
I didn't. See, we just had a friend come over and be like, hey, we've got like a cool version of the Muppets. And I was like, oh, I love the Muppets. And then I was like ruined me for weeks. I literally thought about it and I was just like vacant.
Wow.
That's a hell of a prank.
And of course, on Tuesdays here on this very network is the Tuesday Chinwag with Lee Chalker. This week's guest is Don Ticchio, him of Silver Fox, the silver of the Silver Fox whatnots. So Don has a long storied career in Australian indie comics, so it'll be a very interesting watch right here on ComX Net AU YouTube channel and on all the Facebook whatnots. But that's it for our show. And we will be back next week with the same nonsense and whatnot. And until then, Dave, I think you wanted to debut your new catchphrase, your new sign-off. So I'll hand it over to you. Cheers. That's what you got.
Cheers.
Let's drink and draw.
It.
Cheers.
That's it then. Cheers.
Thanks so much. See you guys.
See you guys all later.
Bye.
Someone should call the police. The show has been murdered. But in 1 week we will rebuild it. Better, stronger, faster. In the meantime, head to ComX.shop and powder your chestnuts on a copy of Detective Budgie by Nick Cleary, Amazing Tales by Dave Dye, Vamoose by Nick May, Battle for Bustle by Lee Chalker, Radical by Ed Kearsley, Sluggish by Spedsy, Crimson and Rascal by Peter Wilson, ComX Presents featuring so many of the creators that have appeared on this show. And so much more. Alright Sizz, press the button. End the show. Don't make me butter your biscuit. Sizzle, press the button. Sizzle? Sausage sizzle. #Bunnings.